Hey Snackers, today we are reading Fortnite X Marvel Zero War issue 5, and I know I haven't really read the other ones online, but since this one is the final one, and I guess has a lot of info and spoilers about the storyline of Fortnite, I think I'd read it on video, and I'll show you the pages as I read along. So war has come to Fortnite Island, waged between the Imagined Order, a group of scientists who force multi-dimensional warriors to fight each other in endless time loops as research, which is Fortnite itself, and the resistance, known as the Seven, the good guys. The Seven have been trying to rescue the fighters and prevent the Imagined Order from completely destroying the island, which was in Season 2 of Chapter 3. But they are technologically outmatched and in need of reinforcements. After Dr. Doom, which is a Marvel villain, stole the Zero Shard from under them on Earth 616, which I think is the Fortnite Reality Zero, Spider-Man and the Imagines team chased Doom to Reality Zero's Ice Moon, only to trigger a trap in one of the Ice King's strongholds. Doom attempted to take advantage of the chaos and the Ice King's arsenal to eliminate the heroes, but with Shuri's help, which is a Marvel character, Spider-Man was able to take back the Zero Shard and get it to the Paradigm, which is a Fortnite character. Doom escaped, but the Paradigm has now fully recharged her mecha and is ready to end the Zero War for good. So here's the page. You see that Hulkbuster? That's the reward for claiming the code for this comic. So let's begin. All right. Reality Zero. The island, as you can see some pages. You can see what it shows, and I'll just read it to you. Reality Zero, the island. So Foundation says, Foundation the Paradigm. We're seeing alarm movements by the Imagined Order. They're ceding strategic points to us, pulling back to their central positions. They'd only do that if they were preparing to evacuate the island, which means their Doomsday weapon is due for completion ahead of schedule. We're on high alert here. What's your status? And then the Paradigm is at the Ice Moon inside of her robot. And she says, we can be launch ready in minutes. Just give the word. My compliments to the scientists on my new armor, by the way. The old suit was showing the effects of being abandoned on an ice moon. So that's her new armor. And she's a skin now in Chapter 3, Season 4 of Fortnite, which is the season we're in. So I guess the scientists made that for her. And then Foundation says, okay, fine. You resent us for leaving you for dead. And I'll mistrust you for helping the Imagined Order. As long as we're on the same side, once the missiles start flying, it doesn't matter. Foundation out. And then Jones says, is she ready? Because I'm ready. I'm readier than ready. Like, over-prepared. Foundation says, she'll be fine, Jones. Are the others in fighting shape? The Ice Moon's environment took a lot out of them. Oh, am I glad you asked. You want to see fighting shape? That is fighting shape. And Jones says that as he points to something else, which is this. Look at this. So it is a new version of Spider-Man, which was the first reward in the first comic book skin called Spider-Man Zero. And right there is Iron Man Zero, which is the Hulkbuster, the final reward for this comic book. And that looks pretty cool. So, oh yeah, it's me, your friendly Omniverse Spider-Man. I tell you, I've had armored suits before, but never with back bling. Want to see my back bling? Oh, that's funny, because there's back blings in Fortnite. Then Jones says, oh, I have a request for you to stop showing everyone your back bling. I mean, we've all got back bling. We're all proud of it, but there's a time and a place, you know? And then Iron Man in the Iron Man Zero suit says, okay, Foundation, respect. Some of this tech is, it's not my Hulkbuster suit, but that's kind of specifically for busting Hulks. This stuff defies the flaws of physics. I can't wait to take it back home. And then Foundation says, with some sad news, none of our tech leaves Reality Zero, Iron Man, so enjoy it while you can. And then he says, have I mentioned you're no fun? Because you, sir, are no fun. Iron Man just completely doesn't like that Foundation said that. And then over here you see some new stuff between the Imagined and Wolverine. They're kind of in love now, so that's a thing. Foundation asks, what did you arrange for Wolverine? Jones replies with, little hiccup there. He won't stop attacking Imaginor bases long enough for us to measure him. I told you, I don't need all that fancy stuff, says someone in the background. I'm guessing that's Wolverine. And then Imagine says, I think he looks good. And then he says, when you've got a healing factor, armor just slows you down. And then Jones says, you would imagine. I think he looks like he grabbed some clothes off a dead guy. So I guess he's just joking with her. And then Jones says, which, if I recall correctly, he did. And what's with the eye patch? Doesn't he regrow missing body parts? And then Wolverine says, her idea. And then she says, reminds me of when we first met in Magipur. I guess that's a location somewhere. And then Shuri says, leave it, Jones. Let them find some happiness in all this insanity. My mom's right next to me, so. And then he says, Shuri, you're not wearing your special gear either. And then she says, my clothes are a badge of a rank in Wakanda. Besides, I didn't think that new suit was flattering. Not that you'd care. And then he says, listen, about what happened in the Savage Land. And then she says, you mean when you ghosted me? And he says, that is a painful, accurate way of putting it. So a ghoster, I guess. And then here are the new pages. So she sees talking, and then I won't show the next ones yet, but some beef between the Order, which is the Imagined Sister, and Wolverine, apparently. Spider-Man told me about your late family. I understand. Our loved ones who'd passed are always with us. There's nothing more important than honoring their memory, which we'll do by utterly destroying the Imagined Order, Shuri says. And then Jones says, the more I get to know you, the more I regret my decision. And then she says, you never know. Maybe you'll have another chance after the battle. So then Iron Man says, so everyone paired up with, but you, to Spider-Man. And then he says, hey, for all you know, I'm married. Really? And then Iron Man says, are you? And then he says, no. So that's just a thing. And then Order says, so you're the famous Logan, or is my sister the only one allowed to call you that? And then Wolverine says, I'm guessing you're the Order. Look, if you disapprove, I get it. But your sister's a grown woman, free to make her own. Then she says, shut up. And then she hugs him and says, I haven't seen my sister this happy in 80 years. And then she says, thank you. So I guess she's thankful that Wolverine made her sister happy, since they've kind of been depressed. And then there's another page of like an almost dead fish stick. And then Magic says, all right, hands off, Logan, and I have some serious matters to discuss. Oh, she says, all right, hands off. Logan and I have some serious matters to discuss. And then the sister says, about the battle, I'm sure. And then she says, how'd you guess? And then the scientist, which is this guy right there, finds Fish Stick, and he says, Fish Stick! And then Fish Stick says, I'm Triggerfish. And then he says, sorry, of course. What happened to your unit? And then he replies with, wiped out. But I got the intel. Take it, scientist. Avenge me. So he takes like a potion or something. And then he replies with, thank you, and don't worry. We'll fix you up. And then Fish Stick says, there's no fixing me. Just don't let them do this to any other more Fish Sticks or anyone else. Okay, everyone, listen up. Forgot his name. The scientist says, we've intercepted coded data meant for Dr. Sloan sent by Geno himself. There's bad news and worse news. Geno is the bad guy of Fortnite, I guess. Their weapon, codenamed the Collider, will reach critical mass sooner than expected. If we don't stop it, all life on the island gets wiped out, which is what they said in the collision event, what the Origin said, which is another member of the Seven. Our only hope is to act now. Oh, and the worst news, their weapon incorporates the 0 point. They're using creation energy to destroy. And then here's the new pages. So they talk, I guess, so that they go into battle. Foundation says, good news is we've confirmed the location of the Collider. It's on top of a tower, here. They've got shields protecting the area. Those shields need to come down. The Paradigm's launching her mech. We need all shields disabled by the time she gets here. You've all been assigned a shield generator base. Destroy the backup generators, then converge on the 0 point. So here are the colliders, I guess the Collider, as you can see on that hologram. And then Iron Man says, Storm, Thor, you kept the atmosphere of the ice moon survivable for days. You can't have much left in the tank. And then Thor says, if you tell me to sit this out, Iron Man, I will rust your armor in the most uncomfortable places. and then I think Thor says, or maybe Storm says, wait, no, that's what Storm says, sorry. And then Thor says, Aye, old friend, there is but the one course of action for my warrior of honor. And then soon, right there, see, I guess they're fighting. Soon, Imagine Order Shield Generator Base number 3. So, Spider-Man says, so I have a feeling they expected us. Foundation said, resistance is heavier than protected. They absolutely haven't evacuated yet. And then Jones says, hang in there, guys. I think we might be about to get some backup. Then Spider-Man says, backup? That's great. But what difference will a few fighters more or less make in all this? So, right there, you can see a mech, which was in Chapter 1, Season 10, and then came back in Chapter 2, Season 8, towards the end. So right here is the Zero War loading screen, I guess one of the rewards. And then, whoa, and then here's the giant robot that appears. I think, yeah, it's like the same scene on 2 pages. So Spider-Man says, question withdrawn. Paradigm to ground team. I'll keep the heat off you. Focus on getting those shields down, she says. And then Jones says, just one generator left. There's still time. And then Foundation says, not enough for you to run your mouth. Hit it. So I guess Jones is just a talker. So, and then Jones says, shields coming down. Jones to Paradigm, we've eliminated the shields. The collider's exposed. And then Paradigm says, we're on our way, which is also what they said in the collision event that I attended. So what's weird about this is, what's inaccurate is she's having a different color of the mech in the event. But right here is what happens in the event. In the event, she's about to destroy the collider, so she says, divert power to Blaze Strike. And she says, hey, Imagined Order, don't be sad. Your weapon's cool codename still fits. My sword's about to collide with this. And then, like the floor just falls, and she says, what the heck? Which she didn't say, like, any of that Imagined Order, don't be sad in the event, which is kind of cool that she says it here. And then the floor begins to, like, collapse, and then Jones says, no! And then Shuri says, a trap. We have to get over there. And then, as you can see, the mech has fallen into a hole, like a trap, I guess. And then Jones says, Paradigm, are you? And then she says, alive. I'll try to make repairs. Keep going. We're running out of time. And Iron Man says, she's right. The 0 points energy is building exponentially. And then, Shuri says, and getting closer. It's rising out of the ground. And then, Imagine says, darn my father, which Geno is actually the Imagine in the Order's father. And they're good, but he's evil. And then Wolverine says, focus up, people. Any plan we might have had is out the window. All we got now is a big fat target, which is the collider. And then Foundation says, everybody attack the tower. I don't care how. If the 0 point touches the crystals at the top, everything ends. So it's just a commercial there. And then new pages. You can see here. This is the exciting part where she says she says, Mom. And then Iron Man says, it's all good. Stopping the end of everything is my jam. I'll try to leave some minions for you to mop up, Foundation. And then he says, wait, we don't know that. And then Iron Man, I guess, gets electrocuted by the collider. And Spider-Man says, Iron Man, Tony, talk to me. And then he says, I can't feel my armor, but I'm alive. Go. But be careful. Whatever's up there, we're talking Thanos-level power. So they mentioned Thanos, which is actually in the game. And then some pages there. And then then Spider-Man says, the long way it is. Come on. And then Imagine says, wait, Logan. Look up there, where the blast that hit Iron Man came from. What do you see? And then he says, I see. It's a hand, which is, you know who. And then he says, a big fella. Hard to get a scent from here, but it's like there isn't just one, and they keep changing. You know him? And she says, only since the day I was born. Imagine the Order, get over here. Daddy's home. So Geno has arrived. I can't see him yet, but okay, new pages. You can see they're fighting. And then that's Gunner right there. Gunner says, okay. Yep. Wait, what? Okay. Okay. Sloan to Gunner. It's getting too crowded over here. What the heck's wrong with our defenses? So Sloan's saying that, and then Gunner says, no worries, Dr. Sloan. We've got it locked down now. No one else is getting by. Bam! Slight problem here, Dr. Sloan. And then, Sloan says, I saw it, idiot. We need more firepower. What the heck? Where the heck's the new guy, Dr. Doom? And then I guess someone says, Sloan says, psst, Betty's only got doctorates from one reality. She says, he's supposed to have taken an arsenal of world-ending weapons from the Ice King's castle. We need them. Find him. And then Gunner says, copy that. The Order says, where is he? Up. And then Imagine replies with, up there. We can't let him slip away. Have to get to him fast. And then Wolverine says, Iron Man tried that. He got blasted out of the sky. So as you can see here, 3 pages. And then the Imagine says, he tried a frontal attack. Did what you expect. Then Order says, we turned our backs on the expected a long time ago. Then Imagine says, brace yourself, handsome, and keep your stray parts away from the 0 point. I'm kind of fond of all of them. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, Geno! It's Geno! That's the guy right there in the gold and black armor. You see him? It's Daddy. And then Order says, Geno, you're done running from us. And then he says, I never ran from you, daughter. Only tried to help you. But at some point, children have to face the consequences of their decisions. Dang, this guy is like next level. And then here's some new pages. Below, as you can see. And then below the former 0 point chamber, Gunner says, Doom, stop hiding, you coward. We need those weapons. They can help us turn the tide. And Dr. Doom says, indeed they could. But what's the point? The philosophy of your imagined order is sound. It is possible for those with sufficient wisdom, genius, and resolve to engineer the perfect society. Your mistake was believing you were capable of such a thing. Only Doom is blessed with such vision. If any life lingers in you, take solace that as you die in the knowledge that your goal will be realized someday far from here by Doom, and in a small way you are useful. Look at that. Geno holding the order up. So Geno says, this is ridiculous. You're still my blood. Just ask and I'll let you live somewhere, send you somewhere safe. Well, not this feral little creature who insists on stabbing me. It's starting to get extremely tiresome, which he's talking about Wolverine. And then Order says, I have a better idea, Father. We'll send you somewhere, Father. And then Order says, everywhere, and she kicks him right there, you see? And then the Imagine's behind her. And then she pushes him into the 0 point, and he says, are you insane? And then right here you can see what's going on. See, I'm jamming his, and then Imagine says, I'm jamming, yeah. And then Imagine says, I'm jamming his flight jets. Pull him loose. And then Order says, pull him loose. And then Geno says, you're mad. If we hit the 0 point, it'll tear us apart. Scatter our bodies throughout the Omniverse. And then I guess Order says, I'm good with that. Or no, I guess Imagine says that. I'm good with that. And then Wolverine says, Imagine, you sure? And then right there, you see? And then she says, completely. And then Order says, what are you? And then I guess they disconnect each other. And Order and the Wolverine survive. But Geno and the Imagined fall into the 0 point. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. See? That's just sad. So, if I don't have a genuine reaction to this because I saw spoilers of it online, I wish I didn't, but I did, sadly. And then the Order says, why? And then Wolverine says, it's what she wanted. She made me promise. If someone had to do it, she wanted it to be her. She still said you had a chance at a life, a good one. And she didn't think she did. She says she wanted you to be happy. It was her last wish. Speaking from experience, I know that's easier said than done. But to honor her memory, you gotta try. And then she says, idiot! You don't understand. It didn't work. And then look who's here. Geno coming out of 0 point. Enough of all of this. Wipe these failures out of existence, he says. And then nearby, right there, you see? Oh, wait. Right there. Nearby, look out, the Foundation says. And then Sloan says, you just don't know when to quit, do you, Jones? But I'm glad you're here. I recruited you. It's only right I clean up my mess. Jones, down, Foundation says. So Sloan says all that stuff, and then Foundation says, Jones, down, which she said the whole part of quitting in the live event of the collision event. And then Jones says, wait, hold your fire. And then she says, and then he says, Sloan, you don't have to do this. You used to care. We both did. We used to want to make things better, remember? And she says, always so dramatic. Surely you have better last words than those. And then she says, look out. And then she says, what? She says, what? Because he says, look out. And then the robot comes in and smashes her. You see that? And then slam. And then Paradigm says, got the mecha working again. Thought you could use a hand. And then Foundation says, appreciated. And then he says, eyes front, Jones. Sloan was lost a long time ago. Oh, wait, down here, Foundation says, and if it helps, I can finally admit I was wrong about you. Sorry. Then Foundation says, eyes front, Jones. Sloan was lost a long time ago. The 0 points, and then right here, you can see, right there, the 0 points locked in on Geno. This is our best chance. And then Shuri says, destroy the crystals. And then Spider-Man says, I think we all figured that out, but thanks. And then I think Jones says, Foundation, are you sure this is safe? And then they head into the 0 point. Whoa. Okay, and then they go, Herf. And then look at the strange dimension they're in. Okay, so it says Herf. And then, they're in the strange dimension, and then Geno says, this isn't what I wanted for you, daughter. I set you free, but you could never do the same for yourself, could you? That's what Geno says. And then Foundation says, get away from her. And then right here you can see, right there, what's going on. And then Geno says, if there were anything that could be done for my daughter, I would have done it. I'm afraid the best I could do was slow it down for both of us. Jones says, what's happening to them? And then Jones replies with, what happens to anyone who touches the uncontrolled 0 point? They're discorporating at the molecular level, being scattered throughout the omniverse. Don't let your guard down. Geno's still dangerous. Then Geno says, you can't accept it, can you, that you've won? Well, in the narrow sense you always defined it. You spoiled my plans, which, incidentally, were to protect and perfect every reality in the omniverse. But there's no point arguing who the hero is now. You always believed my methods were abhorrent, that you knew a better way. Congratulations, now you get to prove it. I genuinely hope you were right, because if you fail, it means the end of everything. So this is that page. And then the next page is another story. And then Foundation says, explain yourself. Then Geno says, I wish I had time. You'll find out soon enough. In the meantime, master the 0 point any way you can. I know you believe my subjugating it was obscene, immortal. Maybe you could do something better by singing lullabies to it. It doesn't matter. What does is that it's your only hope. Everyone's only hope. I have to go now. So he's disintegrating. His head is the last thing that's like alive right now. You could see, I think. Yeah. I have to go now. If you think any in here will be helpful, take it. You have, by my estimation, 15 seconds. This place goes when I go. I have to admit selfishly that it's good to lay my burden down after all this time. It'll be nice to rest. And then he says, I almost forgot to ask, who's the blonde fellow? And then Jones says, what? I worked for you for centuries! Which Geno's the leader and the founder of the Imagined Order, and Jones used to work for the Imagined Order. And then Foundation says, forget it. Grab what you can. We have to go. And then Jones says, hey, looks like we've won. And you can see right here. You see all of them? And then Jones says, come on, up top. And then Foundation does it, regrettably, I guess. And then Foundation's like, this will never happen again. And then Jones says, except on a loop in my brain. Oh, I teared it, sort of. And then later, just sort of right here, later, who says this? Okay, scientist says there, the 0 point's connected to your Bifrost. Anyone from your reality can take it home. And then Thor says, in time, let the warriors celebrate their victory. And you as well, friend scientist. Then he says, oh sure, I just want to jot down some thoughts first. I mean, we've got to get everyone else home somehow too. Don't worry, that's just Siri.
To Clinton Highway, then turn left.
And then Spider-Man says to Jones, who's sitting down, I guess, being sad about his family passing away. He says, yeah, this is about when I start second-guessing myself too. You and that Sloan lady had history. A lot. She wasn't always like that. And I wasn't always like this. I hate that she went out like that. There's always a better way. Isn't that what you believe? And then Jones says, sure. But there isn't always time to figure out what it is. I've been thinking about my family, whether they'd recognize what I've become. And then Spider-Man says, I think they would, and I think they'd be proud of you. And then he says, how do you know? And then Spider-Man says, because you're asking yourself the question. So right here you can see, I guess, the Bifrost to Asgard, which is Thor's home. Spider-Man says, hey, I better run. There's a block in New York missing the sweet sounds of J. Jonah Jameson yelling. So I need to get him back. Take care, Jones. And then Shuri says, I have to go too. I've been away from Wakanda for too long. And then Jones says, I'm sorry we never got to know each other better. Then Shuri says, maybe we'll have another chance. You control the 0 point now, don't you? And then Jones replies with, sort of. I think the idea is to let it rest, heal, not mess with it the way the Imagined Order did. And then Wolverine says to the Order, as you can see, he says, listen, I don't expect you to forgive me, but try to forgive your sister. I know the feeling you got now is better than the grief, easier to bear, but if you hold on to it too long, it'll eat you up. Take it from me. And then she asks, what reality are you from? And then he says, Jones called it 616. And then the Order said, out of respect for my sister, I'll avoid it. And then she says, but if you ever cross my path again, I'll unmake you. Whoa, she's mean. Then over here, you got the Bifrost, the second page. And then Iron Man says, admit it, I grew on you. And then Foundation replies with, you acquitted yourself well. And he said, yeah, and we're armor bros now. And then the Foundation replied with, we are definitely not armor bros. So Iron Man, I guess, being funny. And then Iron Man says, so you won. What now? There's a little, I don't know if you can really see it, but there's a little, like, bear thing in the background, which is Rave Cave in Fortnite, which is pretty cool. They've already built the Rave Cave, I guess. So Iron Man says, so you won. What now? Then Foundation says, let the 0 point heal. Be free. Stick to the natural order of things, like it was before the Imagined Order came along. And try to find a way to send all those who were trapped back here home. Sounds like a big job. Sure you don't need a hand? Iron Man asks. And then he says, we'll manage, but if I ever need you, well, it's not as easy as calling, but we'll find a way. And then they do a handshake right there. And then Iron Man says, that's the honorable handshake. And then he says, it definitely isn't. And then he says, it totally is, armor bros. And he says, please go home. So, and then, look right here. So reality 8992, you can see a little speck of something right there. Alright, and then reality 35, bigger speck. And then it turns into Geno, not the end. So Geno's alive, as I knew before because of spoilers, sadly. But thank you guys for sticking along for this video. Make sure to subscribe and leave a like. Keep on snacking, people, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!